No one saw her. No one remembered her name. But on that scorching afternoon, as the sun scorched the asphalt and time melted away like tar under a heavy boot, she became the only lifeline for a man who seemed to have it all, except control. Broken-down Maserati, a smoke-spewing engine, a high-powered executive brought to his knees. By fate, and by a woman he once vowed never to forget. This is the ring she kept, a story of broken promises, buried memories, and the woman who rose from the ashes of abandonment. If stories of justice, redemption, and soul-deep recognition move you, hit that subscribe button and join us here on Aura Tales, where truth always finds its voice. The road was deserted, swallowed by shimmering waves of heat. Thomas Weber slammed the heel of his palm into the steering wheel of his Maserati. "Damn it," he barked, staring at his platinum watch. 1:43 a.m. In 17 minutes he was meant to pitch the deal of a lifetime, one that would reshape the future of his company. Instead, his car hissed, steamed, and sat useless in the middle of nowhere. He stepped out, silk shirt clinging to his back, sweat pooling beneath his tailored collar. He popped the hood. A plume of smoke greeted him, burning his eyes. His $3,000 suit, his $1 million empire, his curated life, all worthless in front of this mass of overheated machinery. Powerless, helpless, alone. Then, a rumble. A rusty pickup truck rolled to a stop nearby. Dust and heat swirled around it. Out stepped a woman. She wore grease-stained jeans, a rolled-up plaid shirt and boots. Her curly hair was tied back in a bun. Her dark skin shimmered beneath the punishing sun. Her walk was steady, unapologetic. "You look like you could use some help," she said. Thomas gave her a once-over, disbelief on his face. "I have a meeting in 15 minutes. My assistant's supposed to send help, but there's zero signal out here." She didn't blink, didn't flinch. She moved toward the Maserati, eyes scanning the engine without asking permission, as if the car's price tag meant nothing. "Cooling systems shot," she said, her voice low, certain. "I can rig a temporary fix. It should get you to the city. No promises after that." Thomas narrowed his eyes, skepticism written all over his face. "You sure?" "I'm a mechanic," she replied flatly, holding his gaze. "The shop is 10 miles down. Hope Mechanical." Without another word, she retrieved her tools from the truck. She moved like she belonged there, efficient, exact, almost surgical. Her hands were small, but her confidence towered. "5 more minutes, you'd have blown the whole engine," she muttered, adjusting a clamp. "These beasts are powerful, but delicate, like some people." The comment stung. Just enough to cut. Thomas ignored it. He watched her, curiosity laced with condescension. "How do you know so much about luxury cars? Working out here?" She paused. "In a forgotten village?" she finished for him, turning to meet his eyes. "I read, I study, I give a damn. Excellence isn't exclusive to skyscrapers, Mr. Weber." Thomas stiffened. "How do you know my name?" "Business section. Your face is in it often enough." She closed the hood with a firm click. "That should get you to town." He sighed in relief, pulling a thick wad of cash from his wallet. "Take this, thank you." She extended her hand to accept it, and that's when he saw it. A silver ring, worn, antique. A sapphire set in a delicate band. His breath caught. Time stopped. That ring. His mother's ring. The last thing he gave to a girl with wide eyes and a heart full of dreams. 20 years ago. "Where did you get that ring?" he asked, voice cracked. She froze, then slowly closed her fingers over it. "My mother's," she said carefully. "Why?" But the truth sat just beneath her calm exterior. What she didn't say was that he had given her that ring, that he had placed it on her tiny hand beneath the old tree at the orphanage, that he had promised to return, and he never did. Maya slammed the hood of her pickup and climbed in. "If it breaks down again," she called without looking back. "Hope Mechanical, first turn after the Aurora City sign. Thomas stood frozen, torn between the most important meeting of his life and a ghost from his past. That ring. But the truck had already rumbled to life. "Your meeting, Mr. Weber," she called back coldly. "Your investors await." As his Maserati vanished down the road, Maya sat behind the wheel, motionless. "Didn't recognize me," she whispered, brushing her thumb over the ring. "All this time, he never saw me." Back at Hope Mechanical, Maya threw herself into a half-disassembled carburetor, fury in every twist of her wrist. "You're gonna crack that thing in half," said a deep voice behind her, Uncle Xavier, towering, silver streaks in his hair, eyes that saw everything. "He showed up," she muttered, like some sick joke. Xavier went still. "Thomas Weber?" Maya nodded. "The boy who swore he'd return." "The man who didn't," Xavier said grimly. He looked right through me, recognized the ring but not the girl who kept it. That night, alone in her small room, Maya pulled out a wooden box. Inside, clippings, newspaper photos of Thomas's rise, his accolades, his $400 million mergers, his engagement to Elise Harrington, fashion royalty. "Tomorrow," she said to the walls, "he won't even remember." She was wrong. The next morning, a modest sedan pulled up outside Hope Mechanical. Maya looked up, frowning. He had returned, but without the flashy car or fancy suit. "We're closed," she said flatly. "I'm not here for service," he replied, opening his palm. In it, a small wooden brooch, a bird with carved wings, her first sculpture, the one she'd given him as a goodbye. Maya stopped breathing. "Open Heart Orphanage, Orion section," he said quietly. "You taught me to carve when the boys laughed at me." "You promised you'd come back," she said before she could stop herself. "I tried," Thomas said, regret darkening his features. "But my father had other plans." Xavier stepped forward. "So the prodigal son returns." Thomas held his gaze. "I came to explain." Xavier folded his arms. "He gave me a home," Maya said softly. "Taught me to fight for everything. Everything you were supposed to protect." "I know," Thomas replied. "And I'm sorry." "Why now?" Maya asked, eyes cold. Thomas exhaled. "In 3 weeks, I'll announce an engagement I don't want. Take over a company I can't stand. Fulfill a future I never chose." He looked at her, eyes finally seeing her. "Then I saw that ring. And I remembered." His phone buzzed. 6th call from Elise. "She's persistent," Maya noted bitterly. "She's my sentence," he said, silencing it. "And what do you want? From me?" Maya challenged. "Redemption?" "No," Thomas said. "Just the truth. And maybe a chance to fix the one thing I got completely wrong." What he didn't reveal was the investigation he'd begun the night before. A deep dive into Maya Oliveira's past and the suspicious disappearance of land deeds tied to her family. What Maya didn't mention was the file buried in the tall back of her shop, a manila folder filled with documents yellowed with time, the truth that neither of them was ready for. But fate was far from done. If this tale of forgotten promises, hidden truths, and long-lost recognition stirred something in you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Aura Tales, where every story breathes justice, heart, and soul.